Assalamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hello everyone, it's Zainab. Welcome back to my daily recitation of the Holy Quran. I hope you've had a lovely third day of Ramadan. I hope it was full of peace and tranquility and reflection, study, reading, prayer, and I hope Allah made it easy for you, inshaAllah. So today we're going to be reading chapter 3 for the third day of Ramadan, starting from page 43, I believe. Yes, so we'll go from page 43 to page 63. Surah al-Baqarah, ayah number 257. All right. Just looking at... yesterday we read Ayat al-Kursi, which is 255. Yeah, I forgot to mention to you, yesterday when we read ayah number 255, right at the end of the chapter 2 that we read yesterday, that ayah is called Ayat al-Kursi, which is highly loved and regarded in the Quran. It's the seat of the Quran. It's one of the most favorite ayahs of the Quran. I'll read it to you again super quick. Okay. Allah, there is no God but He, the living, the self-sustaining, subsisting, eternal. No slumber can seize Him, nor sleep. His are all things in the heaven and on earth. Who is there can intercede in His presence except as He permits? He knows what appears to His creatures as before or after or behind them, nor shall they compass aught of His knowledge except as He wills. His throne does extend over the heavens and the earth, and He feels no fatigue in guarding and preserving them, for He is the Most High, the Supreme in glory. So yeah, it mentions Allah's throne, which spans the heavens, and that's why it's called Ayat al-Kursi, which means seat or throne. Yes, one of the most beautiful ayahs in the Quran. Okay, so today we're going to read from 257, page number 43. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Allah is the protector of those who have faith. From the depths of darkness He will lead them forth into light. Of those who reject faith, the patrons are the evil ones. From light they will lead them forth into depths of darkness. They will be companions of the fire, to dwell therein forever. Have you not turned your vision to one who disputed with Abraham about his Lord, because Allah had granted him power? Abraham said, "My Lord is He who gives life and death." He said, "I give life and death," said Abraham. "But it is Allah who causes the sun to rise from the east. Do you then cause him to rise from the west?" Thus was he confounded, who in arrogance rejected faith. Nor does Allah give guidance to a people unjust. Or take the similitude of one who passed by a hamlet, all in ruins to its roofs, and said, "Oh, how shall Allah bring it ever to life after this death?" But Allah caused him to die for 100 years, then raised him up again, and said, "How long did you tarry this time?" As in, how much time do you think went by while you were dead? He said, "Perhaps a day or part of a day." He said, "No, thou hast tarried 100 years. But look at your food and your drink. They show no signs of age. And look at your donkey, and that we may make of you a sign unto the people. Look further at the bones, how we bring them together and clothe them with flesh." When this was shown clearly to him, he said, "I know that Allah has power over all things." Page 44, ayah 260. Behold, Abraham said, "My Lord, show me how you give life to the dead." He said, Do you not then believe? He said, Yea, but to satisfy my own understanding. He said, take 4 birds, tame them to turn to thee, put a portion of them on every hill, and call to them. They will come to you flying with speed. Then know that Allah is exalted in power and wise. So as far as my understanding goes, what he means by that is take 4 birds, train them to come to you when you call them, and then kill them and divide their bodies up into portions, as in break up their bodies and scatter them among the hills in the distance, the far distance, or the mountains, and then call to them, and they will come flying back to you. Is that not a miracle? Is that not a sign of Allah, the creator of all things? The parable of those who spend their substance in the way of Allah is that of a grain of corn. It grows 7 ears, and each ear has 100 grains. Allah gives manifold increase to whom he pleases, and Allah cares for all. He knows all things, and he knows all things. Those who spend their substance in the cause of Allah and follow up not their gifts with reminders of their generosity or with injury, for them their reward is with their Lord. On them shall be no fear, nor shall they grieve. Kind words and the covering of faults are better than charity followed by injury. Allah is free of all wants, and he is most forbearing. O you who believe, cancel not your charity by reminders of your generosity or by injury. Like those who spend their substance to be seen of men, but believe neither in Allah nor in the last day. They are in parable like a hard, barren rock, on which is a little soil. On it falls heavy rain, which leaves it just a bare stone. They will be able to do nothing with what they have earned, and Allah guides not those who reject faith. Page 45, Ayat 265. Excuse me. And the likeness of those who spend their substance, seeking to please Allah and to strengthen their souls, is as a garden, high and fertile. Heavy rain falls on it, but makes it yield a double increase of harvest. And if it receives not heavy rain, light moisture suffices it. Allah sees well whatever you do. Does any of you wish that he could have a garden with date palms and vines and streams flowing underneath, and all kinds of fruit, while he is stricken with old age, and his children are not strong enough to look after themselves, that it should be caught in a whirlwind, with fire therein, and be burnt up? Thus does Allah make clear to you his signs, that you may consider. O you who believe, give of the good tidings which you have honorably earned, and of the fruits of the earth which we have produced for you, and do not even aim at getting anything with it which is bad, in order that out of it you may give away something, when you yourselves would not receive it except with closed eyes. And know that Allah is free of all wants and worthy of all praise. The evil one threatens you with poverty and bids you to conduct unseemly. Allah promises you his forgiveness and bounties, and Allah cares for all, and he knows all things. He grants wisdom to those whom he pleases, and he to whom wisdom is granted receives indeed a benefit of overflowing, but none will grasp the message but men of understanding. Page 46, Ayat 270. And whatever you spend in charity or devotion, be sure Allah knows it all, but the wrongdoers have no helpers. If you disclose acts of charity, even so it is well, but if you conceal them and make them each those really in need, that is best for you. It will remove from you some of your stains of evil, and Allah is well acquainted with what you do. It is not required of you, O Apostle, to set them on the right path, but Allah sets them on the right path whom he pleases. Whatever of good you give benefits your own soul, and you shall only do so seeking the face of Allah. Whatever good you give shall be rendered back to you, and you shall not be dealt with unjustly. Charity is for those in need, who in Allah's cause are restricted from travel, and cannot move about in the land, seeking for trade work. The ignorant man thinks, because of their modesty, that they are free from want. You shall know them by their unfailing mark. They beg not importunately from all and sundry. And whatever of good you give, be assured Allah knows it well. Those who in charity spend of their goods by night and day, in secret and in public, have their reward with their Lord. On them shall be no fear, nor shall they grieve. Page 47, Ayat 275. Those who devour usury, which is interest, like when someone charges interest. In Islam, charging someone interest for a loan is haram. It's against Islamic law to do so. Those who devour usury will not stand except as stands one whom the evil one is by his touch has driven into madness. That is because they say trade is like usury. But Allah has permitted trade and forbidden usury, forbidden interest. Those who, after receiving direction from their Lord, desist shall be pardoned for the past. Sorry, excuse me. Their case is for Allah to judge, but those who repeat the offense are companions of the fire. They will abide therein forever. Allah will deprive usury of all blessing, but will give increase for deeds of charity. For he loves not creatures ungrateful and wicked. Those who believe and do deeds of righteousness and establish regular prayers and regular charity will have their reward with their Lord. On them shall be no fear, nor shall they grieve. O you who believe, fear Allah and give up what remains of your demand for your usury, if you are indeed believers. If you do not, take notice of war from Allah and his apostle. But if you turn back, you shall have your capital sums. Deal not unjustly, and you shall not be dealt with unjustly. If the debtor is in a difficulty, grant him time until it is easy for him to repay. But if you remit it by way of charity, that is best for you if you only knew. And fear the day when you shall be brought back to Allah. Then shall every soul be paid what it earned, and none shall be dealt with unjustly. O you who believe, when you deal with each other in transactions involving future obligations in a fixed period of time, reduce them to writing. Let a scribe write down faithfully as between the parties. Let not the scribe refuse to write as Allah has taught them, so let him write. Let him who incurs the liability dictate, but let him fear his Lord Allah, and not diminish aught of what he owes. If the party liable is mentally deficient or weak or unable himself to dictate, let his guardian dictate faithfully, and get 2 witnesses out of your own men. And if there are not 2 men, then a man and 2 women, such as you choose your choice, for witnesses, so that if one of them errs, the other can remind her. The witness should not refuse when they are called on for evidence. Disdain not to reduce to writing your contract for a future period. Whether it be small or big, it is juster in the sight of Allah, more suitable as evidence, and more convenient to prevent doubts among yourselves. But if it be a transaction which you carry out on the spot among yourselves, there is no blame on you if you reduce it not to writing. But take witnesses whenever you make a commercial contract, and let neither scribe nor witness suffer harm. If you do such harm, it would be wickedness in you. So fear Allah, and for it is Allah that teaches you, and Allah is well acquainted with all things. And guys, we're going to leave it there for part 1 of chapter 3, and I'll see you back here very soon for part 2, inshallah. See you soon.